It's week 2 of the Captain's event. We've got our first exclusive Advent Calendar player, and we've got a change to the format to how the Captain's event works. Let's go take a look. Now, first things first, with the Advent Calendar coming back to NHL 24, on the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 25th, we're receiving exclusive players on these days. Now, the 8th is obviously the first of these 4, and if you head on over to the store, you're able to open up your normal Advent Calendar pack, which will feature the 84 overall Morgan Frost. Now, I don't think I'm going out on a limb here, but first exclusive card we received, I can only assume that going forward, that the next few guaranteed exclusive cards are going to be a little bit higher in overall. That being said, this is actually a pretty usable 84 overall card. It's got playmaking forward, which can help out his hand stats a little bit. It's got 90 speed and excel, middle of the pack shot, and as a big OHL fan, it is always cool to see some OHL players get some love. As the former captain of the Sioux Greyhounds, outside of the players that don't have a very strong team, maybe you started a little bit later, you're probably not going to be able to use Morgan Frost in your lineup, but there is definitely a portion of the player base that will be able to. The big downfall here is that he's not an 85 overall, because then we could have used him for the trade-in for the Master Set player. Speaking of those Master Set cards for the Captain's event, we'll take a look at the 4 new ones we got for week 2, starting off with the 88 Roberto Luongo. I kind of had a feeling this one was going to be included, as technically a former captain of Vancouver Canucks, and also pretty much the only goaltender we'd be able to get from this event. He's 6'3" with speed boost as well as playmaking boost. You could also throw defensive boost on here as well. He's also got the 3 best abilities for goaltenders. Again, I really don't think many will matter ever for goaltending. It's going to depend on how you play defense, not the actual goaltender. But he comes with Gold Energizer, which is essentially the goalie's version of Born Leader. It provides a considerable energy boost for all skaters on the team after a desperation save. And he's got Showstopper, which means fatigue will have a less of an impact when making saves. Low-key would have liked to see these switch just to maximize his impact on the game, but you can't really complain. This is one of the best goaltenders in the game. His attributes are all fantastic. 90 speed and 60 aggression is a nice combo, so if you are hut rich and looking for a goaltender, or you're a Vancouver Canuck fan, Roberto Luongo could be your man. Next up, we've got the 88 overall Roman Josi from the Nashville Predators. 6'1", 201, with two-way defenseman, shooting boost, as well as defensive boost, and low-key, probably the best card from this release. Gold Born Leader, because all of them are getting Born Leader, which is going to have less of an impact on defensemen. However, remember the buff to Born Leader this year, where you get a energy boost for any big hit or block shot, so it is useful on defensemen. He's got Seeing Eye, which really doesn't seem as impactful as it was early on. And then Shutdown is one of the best abilities in the entire game. He's got 90 skating with speed and acceleration, 91 agility, good endurance with two-way defenseman activated, and with shooting boost on, his shot is in the 90s. His defensive awareness will touch 97, body checking at 84, and stick checking at 93. All in all, a very good left-handed defenseman. If you weren't able to get any of the left-handed defenseman team builders, this could be an option for you. Next up, we've got the 88 Steve Yzerman, 5'10", 185. The right-handed centerman's got playmaking forward as well as shooting boost and defensive boost, Gold-Born Leader, beauty backhand, and off the rush. All of these abilities make sense. Their just impact on the game isn't nearly as big as some of the other Master Set players they've released. Red Wing fans are going to love this card at 91 speed, 91 acceleration. His slap shot power and accuracy is at 92. That's before shooting boost jumps up to 94. His hand stats are great except for his deking. Body checking is only 80. Defensive awareness is at 92, as is his stick checking at 90, face-offs at 90, so an all-around decent centerman. But if you're not a Red Wing or Yzerman fan, this is kind of like a worse version of Claude Giroux. And then we've got one of the cooler icons as the final Master Set player for week 2, the 88 Ron Francis. 6'3", 200 pounds, great size with playmaking forward, playmaking boost, as well as defensive boost. 89 speed and acceleration, can get up to 90 agility with playmaking forward, Gold-Born Leader, silver close quarters, and third eye. His shot, under 90. His offensive awareness, hand eye, and passing are all great. His body checking is only 83. He does have 95 face-offs, and with defensive boost, it can get up even higher. So it reminds me a lot of the week 1 release of Mark Messier, just not as good in terms of attributes. I'll say this, Mark Messier couldn't score at all for me, so maybe Ron Francis will be able to with weaker shooting stats. I don't know. Still a very cool card if you're a Hurricanes fan or just a fan of some of the best players to ever play hockey. Now, to acquire these cards, it is still the same thing from week 1. You'll need to trade in 10 Captain Collectibles, and you'll get a random week 2 85 overall Captain player. The week 1 option is also still available, and then to make the Master Set players, you will need to trade in 6 85 and above Captain players. So that still remains the same. Now, the Week 2 85 overall players, we've got the 85 Marcus Naslund with Sniper Forward and Born Leader. They are all going to have Born Leader. 88 Speed and Excel, an okay shot in the mid-80s. Hand stats are mediocre as well. Honestly, one of the weaker left-handed wingers that is an 85 overall. Matt Sundin gets one from the Toronto Maple Leafs, always a fan favorite with Sniper Forward. At 6'5", 231, he is a fantastic defensive center. 87 speed, 85 acceleration, 81 agility though. Get hand stats in the mid-80s. Does have 87 face-off rating, 91 defensive awareness, so nothing crazy here, but definitely a usable bottom 6 center here in the Matt Sundin card. Shea Weber gets a card from the Nashville Predators with two-way defenseman. 84 speed and excel, so obviously that's going to be tough. He is 6'4", 230, so in his own zone with 93 body checking, he is going to cause some havoc. He's got a great slap shot with 90 slap shot power, but his defensive awareness, even with two-way defenseman activated, is still only 88. I know there are a lot of fans out there that are looking for a Shea Weber card if you're a Canadiens fan, or looking for your Nashville Predator captain from back in the day, Shea Weber. Brayden Schenn picks up his card from the St. Louis Blues with two-way forward, which is one of the more difficult synergies to activate just because, well, it does boost useful things. There just aren't a lot of top-end two-way forward cards in the game right now, and at only 85 speed, acceleration, agility, you're just not really going to find him all that useful. He's essentially an 85 across the board in everything except face-offs at 81. You've got Ted Lindsay from the Red Wings at 5'8", 163, two-way forward, born leader, 87 speed and excel, but only 82 agility. His shot, his accuracy is at 81. D-King's only 79. Again, another pretty brutal card. Jordan Staal, one of the OG top cards in Hut, just based on his size at 6'4", 220, two-way forward, and always a great face-off rating, coming in at 90 overall before any synergy. Very slow, his shot's very rough as well, as are his hand stats, but defensively a pretty decent card. Mark Giordano, the first captain of the Seattle Kraken, which feels like a decade ago. Two-way defenseman, again, just far too slow to be viable. Steve Ruchin from the Anaheim Duck. There are a lot of two-way forwards in this release specifically if you are trying to activate that synergy. 87 speed, but only 85 acceleration and agility. Shots in the mid-80s, again, nothing to be excited about. Rod Langway, the 6'3", 218 left-handed defenseman with defensive defenseman, has 85 speed and acceleration, 95 defensive awareness if defensive defenseman is activated, which is obviously pretty useful if you're looking for the Capitals alumni. Randy Cunnyworth, hell of a name. He's got 86 speed and excel with 85 agility, mid-80 shot, again, mid-80 stats across the board. Now, we also received a new set, the 82 overall random captain's player set. This will cost you one captain's collectible, and you will get a random 82 overall captain pack. Now, these 82 overall players are not really usable at all. They're from the AHL as well as the Finnish League. However, what you are able to do is trade in 10 of these 82 overall players, and you will get a 85 overall player that you can then put towards making a Master Set player. However, the one added benefit of these cards is because they are so cheap, requiring only one captain's collectible, you can get your objectives done very, very easily. If you head on over to objectives, you'll find that the week 1 objective path can take some time, as they all do, because it does require you to play a lot of games. Remember, they do stack, but if you are able to complete week 1, as well as the new week 2 captain objectives, you'll end up with 62 captain collectibles, meaning that you can make a free Master Set player. They cost 60 total collectibles to make one, which I'm all about, as long as they give us an ability to make a free Master Set player. That's all I ask from EA, at least, to help out the free-to-play guys. Now, because they only cost one collectible, you can head over to the Captain's Moments, and every single Captain's Moment will give you a Captain collectible for finishing it, totaling 8 if you haven't done any, and you can use those 8 collectibles to throw them into the 82 overall set, get 8 Captain players that will have you finishing your objectives extremely easy, especially in squad battles. So again, a little confusing, but this makes actually finishing the objectives and getting the free Master Set player far easier. Another thing to consider if you really don't want to get any of the Master Set players, even for free, is you could use all of the Captain collectibles, get a random 85 overall player, you'll be able to get 6 of them, and then just hold them for Team of the Year or any other future event, because 85s are pretty valuable when it comes to trade-in. So that's all you need to know about the Week 2 Captain's event in NHL. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.